Hey guys, today we're going to be doing the L2 35-minute drafting practice on BricsCAD. I'm going to be using this PDF for my dimensions throughout the video, but I'm going to have it drug out to the side so you won't be able to see it. To start off this drafting practice, we'll start off by drawing the property lines, do L for line, and then you'll draw using the meets and bounds. To do this, you hit the @ symbol and the distance. So we'll start off with 260, the less than symbol, and the meets and bounds. So then you do less than north 62 degrees, 24 minutes, 54 seconds, west. Now that that's drawn in, we'll just do the same process all the way around. So at 149. Okay, now that we've got our property lines drawn in, I'm going to highlight them and put them on our property line layer, and then run LP. Sometimes they show up crooked like this, so what you're going to do is you're going to set your ortho to them. Control Shift middle mouse. You're going to copy, delete, ortho to the line, and paste. You may have to rotate it. Snap to a point on the line and hold Shift. So now we're going to draw our property pins, the circle in the corner with a 2-foot radius. And I'm just going to copy this all the way around. Now I'm going to select one of the circles and one of the text and run select sim for select similar, and I'm going to put these on the meets and bounds layer. And now this project does not have landscape strips or building setback lines drawn in. We can go ahead and just put 5 feet for landscape strips around. This is just a guess. That's this, and then we will put these on the landscape strip layer. Now we'll do our building setbacks. Doesn't look like we have any to really worry about except for this rear line, which we have our building 5 feet. So we'll do a 5-foot building setback line. And then the rest we can just do 15 because our building does not get close enough. We'll connect these with a 0 radius. And then put our lines on the building setback layer. Okay, now we'll label these, set our UCS to world, copy these from the 30 scale, and then we'll set our UCS back to the property line and paste. This will just line it up for us. And again, I just guessed the 5-foot landscape strip because that's what it looks like in the PDF. This still looks crooked, so I'm going to fix this. Alright. So, and then we'll put in our building setback line. We did 10 feet or 15 feet. And 5 feet. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. So, alright, we've got our everything labeled. Now we can start wireframing. Our primary constraint is going to be this, or we'll put in our existing road, which is 11 feet from the property line, and this will just go on the existing concrete layer. Now we can start wireframing. This will be our primary constraint, our main worry of encroaching, so we'll offset it 1 foot. Put this on the 0 layer. Our secondary constraint is going to be this building setback line, or this property line, so we're going to want to stay 15 feet from this property line. I'm going to put this on the 0 layer as well. And just to make sure that all our drawings are ortho to this main property line, I'm going to redraw this line orthogonally to the property line. So now we know that this line is exactly 90 degrees from our property line, and it's 15 feet from the side. And here we're going to want a 37-foot drive aisle, so I'm going to offset this 37 feet. And it looks like we have 83.3 feet for the building. Then it looks like we have 6 feet for sidewalk. Looks like we have 19 feet for parking. Feet for parking. We have a 30-foot drive aisle and another 19 feet for parking. Then we're going to go to this bottom line, and we're going to want a row of parking down here, so we have 19 feet, and then a 27-foot drive aisle along with another 6-foot, or it looks like 8-foot sidewalk, sorry. So we're going to offset this 8 feet. And then 83 feet for our building. Okay, now that we've got our building footprint in, we can draw a rectangle here. And this should be our proper dimensions. I'm going to put this on the CA site building layer. And I'm going to offset this 1 foot inside, make this polyline width 1.5. And this just makes our building stand out more, so we know what we're looking at. Now I would like to start with our drive aisle. It looks like it goes 5 feet from the property line. So I'm going to offset this 5 feet. Then I can use fillet with a radius of 0 to connect and connect. As so. Now we've got our 37 feet section off for our drive aisle. I can now delete this line for our building. And this will come down, and we'll have a 15-foot curve towards the parking, like this. Now it looks like our parking starts at an unknown distance here, so we'll wait to start that. What I would like to start is this parking down here, these 2 spots. So we've got our 2 spots here and our 11 up here. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a radius 5. But first I'm going to use this button up here and break here. This just separates the line in 2 spots. We've got our 5-foot radius here. 19 feet deep. I'm going to offset this twice for our 2 spots. Go over. It looks like we have a 10-foot island between, so I'm going to go 10 feet. And then I'm going to go all the way down to our road where we're tying in. This has a radius of 2, and this has a radius of 8. We're going to put this on the stripe layer, CS site stripe, for parking stripes. And this we can tie back in together. These should all be joined, and these can go on the CA site concrete layer. Now that we've got this tied down, we do want to have a 24.2 drive aisle is what we're tying into right here. So I'm going to offset this 24.2. So, and these connections are existing. So I'm going to put these on the layer here. I'm going to hit this BB button. It separates, and it looks like they're a radius of 20, so we're going to stick with that. And it looks, if we trim these away, looks like it has been discontinued from where the curve ends, so we can connect them like this and join this all together. And now we have our existing tie-in. Normally this will be traced from a survey or brought in, but for this purpose, we're just going to draw it like this. So now we can show our curb tying in. Like this. So now I'm going to set a fillet of 0. I'm going to draw a 19-foot polyline here. And I'm going to offset this 9 feet, M for multiple, and I'm going to put 11 spaces, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 11 spots all the way down. Here we're going to come out 19 feet for parking. Looks like we have an 8-foot island. And then we have a van space, 5 feet for hatch, 8 foot for ADA parking, and 9 feet for the rest of the spots, so 1 space, 2, 4, 5. So it goes there. So it looks like these are supposed to line up here. Just gonna make sure that I have 7 spaces. So I'm going to move these up. I'm going to snap it to this endpoint so that this all lines up. And now I'm going to move this back to a 0 radius. Move that like that. So now everything over here lines up great. And this ties back in. 5-foot radius. I'm going to put these on the stripe layer using the CG command. And then we have room for our dumpster. Perfect. So now this has 2 radiuses, 4 for our island. 0 to connect, 0 to connect. Now these all should be joined. It looks like we've got about 30 feet for the entrance, so I'm going to just offset that looks about right. 30 feet just for the front entrance sidewalk. Give this a fillet of 5 and then trim. Delete. Trim this away as well. Now we've got our island, wraps around. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and put in our dumpster, so I'm gonna use CS World. Looks like we're using this dumpster block. Copy this. And I'm going to paste on this UCS. Sometimes these get a little wonky, so another way to make sure it's straight is the align command, where I'm just going to snap a midpoint to this line and another midpoint to this line, and then no for scaling. Now it's perfectly aligned with this. And it looks like our dumpsters should line up right there. I'm going to send this draw order back so I can mess with this line. And I'm just going to wrap the curb all the way around dumpster and connect it back with this side of the curb. Now I can join these together. And we've got our curb that wraps all the way around from the road to the building, and our striping on the striping layer. Perfect. So now we're going to go from here. We have our 19 feet deep parking that starts 1 foot from this landscape strip. Like this. And we want to make sure this drive aisle connects straight from the existing with a 4-foot radius. But before I do that, I'm going to offset, looks like a 9-foot island. And this will connect the 0 radius. Now for our parking. "19-foot long line." We have 9 spaces here, so I'm going to offset this 9, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9 spots. We can drag this all the way back here. Looks like we accidentally deleted what we had going on over here, so we have to redo that real quick. All that is offsetting this line 5. And 15 feet from the property line. Like that. Now we have our 15-foot radius. Down to our parking and a 5-foot radius here. So this should all be joined together finally to the concrete layer. Delete lines. I'm going to put this on the stripe. Okay. Now it looks like we have striping here to make sure cars don't run into the building. This, and we can go ahead and hatch it. 15 scale, click inside, good. And then we can just CG it to the right layer. Then we have an 8-foot long crosswalk. And I'm going to put these on the right layer. And we'll also hatch these. These are going to have a different angle. Like this. It's our crosswalk and our hatch. And now we can run our curb command with CC. Curbs are now drawn in, and we can start labeling our parking. So we use this block here. Use kick to double check our parking. 9 spaces. 2 spots. Seven spots here. Now I'm going to hatch in this for the handicap space. And I'm going to make sure this has no angle. Or one angle. I'm going to hatch this like so. That, and then I'm going to match with the MA command, this to this. Okay. So now we're hatched. I'm going to label the handicap spots. Set my UCS to world and copy this, and then set back UCS to site. Hit paste. You can rotate these and hold shift, and it'll rotate ortho. You can move these to their respected spots. Alright, and now we just need to label the building. I'm going to go down to this copy. This is going to be a Mavis tire. And plus or minus 6,939 square feet. And this goes on the CSN1 building layer. Copy it, and we're gonna paste it ortho to the building. And here we're gonna put our 83.3 feet. Rotate it because it's upside down. Okay, now we can start dimensioning. You're going to copy this with UCS world, this dimension down here. And then you set UCS back to site. And you can start dimensioning. So paste it. I'm going to rotate it sideways. There and there. 37 feet. These go on the CSN1 dim layer. Rotate. We're going to get our width of our sidewalk, or of our crosswalk, like this. Okay, now we like to get our size of parking. And we like to measure our ADA spaces. That. We'll get our travel aisle. feet. We have to measure our area for our dump truck to come in. Measure that. And our drive aisle. Existing drive aisle. Always measure from this middle curb line, 24.2 and 27 here. Alright, now we need to label our radiuses. So you can dim, rad, select, set your UCS to world first. There, and then you'll CG it to the same layer. And then we'll make sure these are all on the dimension layer and visible. Alright, and that should be it. Thanks for watching.